Today, we're going to go deep into keyword tracking, not just with Helium 10, but what if you don't have Helium 10? How can you get the best keywords out of Product Opportunity Explorer, Search Query Performance, and even Amazon's website? And then for those who do have Helium 10, what are some special things you can do with tracking your keywords that can put more money in your pocket? How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. I'm your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that's completely BS-free, unscripted, and unrehearsed, organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the e-commerce world. And we're doing today our monthly live Ask Me Anything and monthly training. We do this once a month so that you guys can get training on a specific topic, but then hopefully you guys have been throughout the month compiling all of your Amazon related questions or Helium 10 related questions and gonna try and stump me with them. You guys can stump me sometimes. I don't know the answer to everything, but I want to be able to have an opportunity at least to be able to answer whatever questions you have about your Amazon business today. So make sure to start getting your questions ready. So now let's just first talk about the importance of keywords, because sometimes there's been this shift lately that people think that keywords aren't as important anymore because we live in the time of AI and things like Rufus and Cosmo. And no, if anything, keywords are more important than ever. Because remember, AI, whether we're talking Rufus or AI algorithms in the back end of how Amazon indexes things like what some people call Cosmo and stuff, it still has to be based on keywords, all right, as one of them. Theoretically speaking, could I create an Amazon listing with no text at all and just an image of a coffin shelf? Would Amazon know that it's a coffin shelf? Potentially. Right now, still not. Like, I've tested it before. All right. If you don't have the words in there, most of the time, no, you will not be searchable for the keyword. And if you're not searchable, what does that mean? That means Amazon doesn't think that you are related to that keyword if you're not searchable. And then conversely, remember, what is AI? Things like Rufus, which is the AI assistant, shopping assistant that Amazon shows all customers now. How does it know what a product is? Well, it's based on what Amazon thinks the product is. All right. So again, keywords are still vitally important. If anything, the AI thing is helping some sellers who maybe don't have all the best keyword research and they didn't put like a keyword. We had a recent podcast lately where we talked about having sandals, right? Like sandals, women's sandals. And maybe these sandals are great for pregnant ladies, right? And so if I put the word great, I probably wouldn't put the word great for pregnant ladies. That's not exactly a correct terminology. But if I were to put, hey, pregnant women get a lot of comfort from these slippers, from day one, most likely, I'm going to be indexed for anything that has to do with pregnant women, pregnant ladies, those kind of keywords like that, right? So theoretically speaking, the Amazon AI from day one, like if somebody was typing something in Rufus, say, hey, are these slippers good for pregnant, if I'm pregnant, right? Even if I have no reviews for the AI to review because it's a new product, what Rufus is going to say is yes. According to this listing, it's very comfortable for those who are pregnant, right? So, but what if I didn't put that in there? From day one, maybe it's there, maybe it's not, but probably not in the AI. Because if there's no reviews, there's no questions and answers, there's nothing that has to do with pregnant ladies using this slippers, the AI, I'm not going to be indexed or anything. So how AI enhances things is, let's say I have a full listing and now I've had this listing out there for like 6 months. I still never put the word pregnant in my listing, but there's some reviews, right? There's reviews of people who said, oh, I'm pregnant and man, this really took a load off my shoulders, right? Or somebody put a Q&A and somebody asked another person, hey, is this okay if I'm pregnant to use this? And somebody said, yes. I don't necessarily have to have put pregnant in my listing, but now all of a sudden, would I be indexed for words related to pregnancy? Would I come up in Rufus? Probably. So you see, that's how things like Rufus and other AIs are going to enhance the shopping experience. It's more like for sellers who didn't have the right keywords in their listing from day one, you now have more of a chance to get indexed for these. I mean, Amazon's always had things like that. I've been showing for 6 years how to get indexed for keywords that you don't have in your listing because they're forbidden or something. So this is like not necessarily new. But I'm going to say now it's going to be a little bit easier and enhanced process. All right. But again, why wait 6 months until people have reviews, or maybe Amazon knows in the back end that somebody's pregnant, and so it knows that if somebody's buying these shoes, hey, just even without Q&A or without reviews, maybe it'll go ahead and start indexing. But why wait for something like that? Why not be indexed and searchable for pregnancy-related keywords from day one, right? So that's why I'm saying, guys, forget the noise where people say, oh yeah, keywords aren't as important anymore. If anything, I think it's even more important. And then now all of a sudden things like Rufus, Cosmo are going to enhance what you can get indexed for, even if you don't have the keywords, right? Okay, I hope we're on the same page now. So what are some ways, first of all, that you can, what are some keywords that you should track, even that have nothing to do with Helium 10, or you have no tool at all? Let me show you a couple. We know that getting to page 1 on keyword search results is one of the most important goals that an Amazon seller might have. So track your progress on the way to page 1, and even get historical keyword ranking information, and even see sponsored ad rank placement with Keyword Tracker by Helium 10. For more information, go to h10.me/keyword tracker. One of them is on product pages itself, all right? So if you have searched for a keyword, I love to keep track, because it changes sometimes. At the very bottom, the related keywords section. Here it is right here. Related searches. Because this is telling you what people searching for your main keywords are searching for before and after they search this. All right. I love any data that comes from Amazon. All right. This is literally from Amazon. So it's great data to see. So I can see here, coffin shelf large, 6 feet tall, coffin bookshelf, coffin decor. Now, coffin mirror, if I'm selling a coffin shelf, is coffin mirror my product? No, but it's important maybe to be indexed for that keyword, because now I can get 2 chances if I'm advertising for that keyword, because Amazon is telling me that, hey, right before somebody searches coffin shelf or right after, they're also searching for coffin mirror. So now it's like I have 2 at-bats if I'm indexed for both of these keywords and searchable, and maybe advertising on it and related to the keywords on that page. All right. So you could just, without any tool, take note of that. Another way where you can start noticing those keywords without having to look for it is if you use the Helium 10 search expander. It'll show the related keywords right here at the top and their search volume. So I don't even have to scroll down. I could just go ahead and even export the data right here. I can export the data, and you see how the related keywords that showed up at the bottom, it's going to show up right here. So that's one way, even with 0 tools. I mean, this one has a tool, but the first part of it, where you can get an idea of important keywords and track, because again, these keywords here at the bottom change. Like I remember at one point this year, Gothic decor was here. Now it's not. So, that's just some interesting information. Another way, without even Helium 10, to be tracking what keywords are important to your niche and then how you are performing for them. Opportunity Explorer. Okay, so here's a product that I've been selling for a little bit, coffin letterboard, right? Not all product niches are here. Like most of the major ones, like if you're selling something that's selling, 20 units a day, 10 units a day, I've got to imagine your main keywords in Product Opportunity Explorer if you're selling 20 a day. But if you're not selling 20 a day, it's possible it might not be here, okay? So anyways, what you do is you find the main keyword, hopefully it's there, and then hit search terms. Now, this is super interesting because you don't get much data at all. So in this coffin letterboard niche, according to Amazon, there's only 2 main keywords, all right? But still, this changes over time, all right? Coffin letterboard, Halloween letterboard. If I go into trends, I can see over time how the search volume has changed. You can see it's very, very low on this one, and the product count is very low too. So if this is all I had to go off of, this is not much. But it's important to keep watching this if you don't have any tool like Helium 10, and every now and then, like once a week or once every 2 weeks, refresh your main pages to see what other keywords are showing up here. Let me just show you something that comes up a lot more. Let's say collagen peptides, right? Let's look up collagen peptides. And if I choose this and then I hit search terms, we've got 17. All right. So there's a lot here. But if I was selling collagen peptides, I want to keep track of these keywords and then where I'm showing up. And obviously, if I want to see where I'm showing up, and I would just look where my product shows up. If I search these one by one, it's kind of tedious and not giving me a whole picture, but at least it's better than nothing. All right. And you want to make sure that you are indexed for all of the keywords. And even Amazon is saying that some of the top keywords in this niche is Spanish keywords. All right. So you're not always searchable for the Spanish keywords unless Amazon has already translated your listing in the back end for the Spanish, and then these are the words that it translated. But not always does it translate in the right way. So sometimes you got to put some of these extra Spanish keywords in the back end of your listing to try and get indexed for it if Amazon didn't translate the correct words. All right. So there's two ways that have nothing to do with Helium 10 that even if you have zero tools at all, you can be tracking. The third way that has nothing to do with Helium 10 that you should be tracking with your keywords, and this is now getting a little bit more advanced, and Helium 10 is going to have something for this. We've been working on something with Amazon on this to be able to offer it to sellers a little bit more easily so you don't have to download reports, is search query performance. All right, so if you guys don't know where you can get your search query performance is in your Seller Central. You got to have brand registry, go to brands, and then brand analytics. And there's so much wealth of information. I'm just going to show you the top thing that you guys should be tracking. Search query performance. I like looking at the ASIN view. So Coffin letterboard, what I do is I'm going to take the number of clicks overall. What this means is when Amazon says this is the total number of clicks, that means 2,449 out of all the searches. How many people clicked on either a sponsored product ad or an organic placement from near the top of the page after searching this keyword, right? And it's 2,449. And then I say, how many total purchases were there? 206, all right? So now you guys can't see, but I'm taking out my calculator. I take 206 divided by 2,449, and that comes out to 8.4%. So that means that on average, during this month, and obviously it'd be better to look at this at a weekly level, the conversion rate for people who got a click after searching Coffin letterboard is 8.4%. Now what I do is I take ASIN count from the purchases and divide that by ASIN count of the clicks to see, hey, how is my conversion rate on this? All right. And so to do that, I go ahead and I take 8, which is what my ASIN count for purchases was, divide it by ASIN count for clicks, 83, and it's 9.6%. And now I forgot what the other one was. So hold on, let me see. What was the other one? The other one was 8.4%, right? So what does that mean? Do I have a better or worse conversion rate than my competitors? I have a better one, because I'm at almost 10% and they're at 8%, or probably a little bit lower, since if you were to fully take into consideration what they're doing, you have to deduct my sales and my clicks, right? So they're around 8, I'm around 10, basically. So why should you track this? What can I do with this information? Well, this means that, hey, I want to make sure that I'm showing up at the top of the search results. And again, obviously in Helium 10, it'll be easy to know if I'm showing up at the top of the search results because I look at keyword tracker, right? But here, if I don't have Helium 10, I kind of have an idea based on the denormalized search query volume that search query performance has, which in this case is 5,300. And I compare that to the ASIN count of impressions, which is 6,400, right? You might be wondering, how in the world can I have more impressions than searches? Well, it's because I'm probably showing up at the top of the search results, both in organic and in sponsored most of the time. That's how I can show up twice for every search sometimes, all right? So if the number was a lot lower and my conversion rate is higher, what action am I taking? What would you take? The answer is, I got to increase my bid on this keyword. I want to show up at the top of sponsored ads 24 hours a day. Because why? Because my conversion rate is better than everybody else's, meaning that if I show up at the top, I'm going to start getting conversions for it at a better clip than my competitors, meaning what? My organic rank is going to start increasing. Okay, so this is good information here on how you can track keywords week by week, month by month, just right there in Seller Central, all right? Now, easiest way to track keywords is obviously in Helium 10. Now, to find what keywords you should track at all, a good way is just to run Cerebro on it first, all right? On yours and your top competitors' listings, okay? To find out what keywords to track. So how can I do that in an easy way? Let's go and do Coffin. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do Coffin shelf. I'm going to run X-ray on this page. The very first product I'm going to do is my own. So I click on my own product in X-ray if I'm in the search results. And then what I want to do is I want to click on some of my main competitors that are exactly Coffin shelves as well. Let's go ahead and do the Amazon's choice. By the way, guys, this is super cool. Helium 10 is the only tool where in the search results, you can see for the last month, who was the top clicked product and how many conversions did they have, all right? Make sure to always choose the ones who were the top clicked products. Here was the top one. And let's just pick another couple coffin shelves here. Let's see who else has a good coffin shelf I can can check up on, man, not a lot of people are selling a lot of coffin shelves, I guess. 113. All right, well, let's just go with these and just add this one. All right. So now what I do is I hit run Cerebro. Okay. Now that's going to open up Cerebro. Now, again, this is if you're not tracking any keywords at all, but you have been selling on Amazon. All right. This is going to tell me, hey, which ones should I start tracking? And I like to start tracking, first of all, the ones that I'm ranked for. All right. If I'm ranking highly for it or I'm on page 1, hey, I want to track it. So what I could do is I can say, hey, show me keywords that have at least 300 search volume where position rank, okay, 300 search volume where position rank is between 1 and 30. All right, these are the keywords that last time Helium 10 checked, I was on page 1. All right, and as you can see here, now 28 keywords came up. Do I have to track every single one of these? You don't have to, but this is a good way. It's a good way to start, because the fact that I'm on page 1 means Amazon and customers must think I'm somewhat relevant to that keyword, and I might want to see how I'm doing. So I can take all these keywords and then add to Keyword Tracker, okay? The next group of keywords I'd want to track is, where are my competitors getting their sales from? Okay, so I would clear the filters. I would say still do maybe 300 search volume. And then I want to see where at least right here under number of competitors, minimum 1 competitor is ranking maybe on page 1, positions 1 through 10, meaning they've got to be getting sales for that keyword, or they have at some point or another. And let's see what kind of keywords come up. And there's 16. So some of these might be the same that I'm already ranking for, but here I would add these keywords also to track. So this just gets me started. And again, why is this important? Again, like, why do I care about where I'm ranking? You want to be visible for people who are searching. I don't care about any kind of AI. There is nothing that is going to beat if somebody, for the people who know what they want, they are not going to be interacting with Rufus in the beginning for their initial search. If I know I want to buy a blue insulated water bottle on Amazon, what do I do? Am I going to go into the AI and say, hello, AI, I'm looking for a drinking implement that is of a shade of color that is not red or green and that keeps things cool? What, I mean, am I going to be typing? No. If I know what I want, I am going to type into Amazon blue insulated water bottle. All right. So for those people who already know what they want, you want to be one of the top products that shows up in the search results, right? And so that's why you have to track your keywords, because if you're not ranking in the top, is that person who typed in blue insulated water bottle going to see your product or even purchase it? Probably not. So it matters where you are showing up. Okay. So now let's go into how to track the keywords if you already did it in Keyword Tracker. So once you already track it, and guys, we're going to have a podcast in a couple of weeks that really goes super in depth as far as all the new features that Keyword Tracker has. We brought a lot of the things that used to be only in our super expensive Market Tracker 360 tool, and now we brought it down to the regular Keyword Tracker. All right, so here is some keywords here I have added to Keyword Tracker. All right, now what does it mean that it's in Keyword Tracker in Helium 10? We are checking every day, once a day by default, where your organic rank is and sponsored rank is in a rotating browsing scenario. Keyword rank is not just about, hey, once a day in one browsing scenario, let me see where I'm ranked. Depending on your browser, depending on what address you put in the delivery bar, depending if you're incognito or not incognito, you are going to see different ranks sometimes. So what I like to do is, if I'm curious as far as how is my ranking fluctuating, what I do is I turn on Boost. All right. This is something, if you're using another tool out there, guys, you do not have access to this. You don't have Boost. What Boost means is, if I turn this rocket ship on, this blue rocket ship, if I turn this blue rocket ship on, it is going to check 24 times a day in browsing, in rotating browsing scenarios. And how I can see that is, let me click the graph of Keyword Tracker for this keyword. Let me hide the competitors. And you could see here that I didn't have Boost on in this section, and sometimes I wasn't showing up. So some people say, oh, Keyword Tracker has a bug because it's saying I'm not ranked and I am, or it says I am ranked and I don't see it on my browser. But I just showed you guys, sometimes in different browsers, your rank is just not going to show up. And how would you know that unless you get like on a live broadcast like I'm doing and get 20 people to all say, oh, it's 4 or it's 5. Some people said it's 4 or 5. Only one person said it wasn't ranked, plus me. You turn boost on, guys, and now you can see 24 times a day if your rank is really fluctuating a lot or it's not. As you can see, for the most part, my rank is pretty steady. But yes, there were a couple browsing scenarios, as you can see here, that Helium 10 checked where I just stopped ranking for some reason. All right. So that's why having a holistic look at at keyword tracking is definitely important. And sponsored, same thing. This is the more actionable one, is sponsored, because I want to see, hey, do I need to increase my bid in sponsored ads? Like right here, I probably increased my bid. Look, I was fluctuating between like position 8 and 17 in sponsored ads. And then I think I increased my bid right here. And then now all of a sudden I'm showing up at the top of the search results on sponsored ads. And how would I know? How would I be able to track that? So this is what I want you guys to do. You see how right here, there is a note. You add a note at the very time that you are trying to do something. And then now you can look back at, oh, look at this. On October 7th, I increased my bid by 50 cents. And now I can see the effect that it had. All right. So this is way more advanced than just, oh, let me see where I'm ranking. Let me just track some keywords and opportunity, explore what's going on in search query performance. No, this is like really getting a granular look at what's going on with your ranks so that you could get a step up on your competitors who might not be looking at this. All right. So that's one way to be tracking. What I also suggest doing is you need to track your competitors' keywords. All right. So for example, if I hit here under competitors in keyword tracker, I added my competitors already. You can do that by hitting here, edit competitors. But now for organic and sponsored, for some of my main keywords, like this top line is coffin shelf, I can see where is my rank on coffin shelf. I'm 4th out of my top 6 competitors. That's no bueno, right? What's the average rank of my competitors? How many competitors are ranking for it? And then now I can see at any given time what the rank is. I can see I'm 5. Here's one competitor who's just not even ranking at all. Here's one competitor who's number 1, one that's 3, one that's 2, one that's 7. So now I can kind of like easily see what is going on with my competitors as far as where they're ranking. Where are they doing their sponsored ads? Another key thing to do, remember how I said when you first start tracking keywords, you want to get an initial list, go ahead and run Cerebro. You should technically be doing that like once a week, right? To see, hey, am I ranking for any new keywords that I need to be tracking? Are my competitors? Well, you don't have to do that. You don't have to run Cerebro anymore. Use the suggested keywords and then hit customize settings, okay? And then basically you are programming keyword tracker to run Cerebro on its own and let you know if there's anything that hits your criteria. So for example, what I put was, I want to know if my competitors are ranking for any new keywords that have at least 400 search volume, where at least one of my competitors is ranking between 1 and 20, but I'm not ranked. All right. So instead of me running Cerebro to find this once a week, Helium 10 is going to do it for me and just let me know, hey, here's a keyword that hits this criteria. Do you want to track it? Yes or no? At the same time, what if I start ranking for a keyword that I wasn't tracking because I didn't know that I was even relevant for it? Well, Helium 10 is going to show that to me. So you would enter into keyword suggestions based on my products. Hey, if a keyword has at least 500 search volume and my organic rank is between 1 and 10, go ahead and let me know if I'm not tracking for it. And sure enough, here are some suggestions that it already hit. Looks like I was not tracking goth room decor. Coffin mirror. Look at that. Do you guys remember coffin mirror? Where did that show up? That showed up right on Amazon as one of the related keywords. But here, Helium 10 found that for me and told me that, hey, you need to start tracking this keyword. Okay. Now, maybe you're the kind of person who likes to visualize day by day how you're improving overall on your keywords. Well, this is one of the most asked for things from Market Tracker 360 that we had for 2 years, where it's like, hey, bring in those colorful heat maps from Market Tracker 360 into Keyword Tracker so I can kind of see on a holistic level what is going on as far as when I am ranking. And then I can also mark when there was holidays. Like you see here, October 14th was Columbus Day. There's a little gift box here that shows up there. So now I can go in and see, all right, how is my ranking on holidays versus regular days? All right, so that's just another way to look at your keyword ranks. I could also say, hey, instead of where my position was, I just want to know, am I on page 1? Am I on page 2? Am I on page 3? Well, to do that, I can say, you know what? I'm going to switch to page number. So under table customization, I choose page number instead of rank. And now what it's doing is it's telling me if I'm on page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or more. So super, super cool differences I can do. And then if I have Helium 10 Atomic, our PPC management software, which is actually available to everybody with a diamond plan now, I can actually see, hey, how many PPC campaigns do I actually have coffin shelf in? What was my PPC sales on this keyword? What is my cost per click, right? What is my click-through rate on this keyword? So I can get really, really granular. So guys, again, I'm not trying to give a keyword tracker training. That's actually going to be a future podcast in a little bit. But make sure that however you're doing it, I showed you how to track keywords. If you have no tools, I showed you how to track keywords in Seller Central, and then how to track keywords in Keyword Tracker. Make sure that keywords are still a big part of your strategy, because it's only going to help you, even in this new world of AI, to really make sure that you are showing up for the right keywords to the right customers, and that Amazon knows what keywords you're relevant for. So guys, let me know now if there's any questions you have about anything we talked about today or anything Amazon related. This for the rest of the time now, this is your show here. So let's see what questions you have. Russell says, what do you do if you look after a range of different products with different keywords? You track them all separately. So inside of Keyword Tracker, I've got about 15 different products I'm tracking, all with different keywords for it. So yes, you don't want to track them all in the same like location, because then absolutely it's going to get like way too messy, in my opinion. Dan says, this is only available for Diamond. Almost everything I showed you, Dan, is available for Platinum members as well. The only thing that's not is maybe the Atomic one. I'm not sure about the heat map. Heat map even might be available to Platinum. Spencer says, where is the settings? The settings is in each of those tabs. There's like a little gear button that says customize. Sebastian says, how does the boost feature measure the ranking? Does it receive the data from multiple sources or from the same browser or IP? No, that was what I said. It's rotating, completely rotating and random. That's how it's able to detect if there's a lot of fluctuations going, and it's not just giving you the same address or the same exact browser or the same criteria. You know, it's taking random browsing scenarios so that you can have a little bit more of a holistic look. It's still not going to be complete. You know, you could have a tracker that checks 5,000 times a day instead of just 24. And is that going to give you every single possible browsing scenario that your keyword might be showing up? No. But 24 is obviously better than 1, right? Moby says, I've got 18,000 impressions, but only 1 sale. What am I doing wrong? I'm more interested in clicks. How many clicks did you get? All right. Because if you only got 3 clicks, well, that means your click-through rate is abysmal. Now, something to keep in mind about these things is that impressions doesn't always tell the whole story. I would check keyword. This is where Keyword Tracker comes in. All right. So I would check my Keyword Tracker and then check, hey, where was I ranking? All right, where was I ranking for this keyword? Because maybe you got impressions and it was mainly from the product page that people don't even look at. Or maybe it was from the bottom of page 1 or page 2, right? Meaning in reality, nobody even probably saw your listing, right? So now if all your impressions were at the top of search, that's where you get worried. And if you had like 200 clicks and only 1 sale, that's where you get worried, because you're like wondering, why are people clicking on my product? Meaning that, hey, they must have some kind of buyer intent a little bit, but then they don't purchase. That means you have a conversion problem. So if you're talking about a visibility problem, it's like you don't have enough impressions or enough quality impressions. I consider quality impressions those showing up near the top of the search, right? But if you've got that and you're getting clicks, it means you have a conversion problem. 2 very different problems to have. Lillian says, how can we apply this to starting out and trying to find a product? Well, you could take a look at it and see, hey, if I'm looking to vet a certain group of products, maybe you want to see where there's a lot of top selling products that are not ranking for top keywords. Like if there is 10 top competitors and you notice that they're getting sales, the top keywords in the niche, let's say there's 10 top keywords and all of those top 10 competitors are on page 1. That doesn't mean it's impossible to sell. It means that, hey, these sellers are pretty sophisticated. Sometimes what you could do though is when you're running Cerebro and looking at the keywords, you notice that, hey, out of these top 10 keywords, only like a maximum of 5 of these top 10 competitors are even on page 1 for all of them, right? That might be something that tells you, hey, all right, these sellers probably are not using Helium 10. They probably don't even know what keywords are supposed to be ranking for. So I've got some opportunity there. Oh, great question from Ashley here, if I can pull it up. If you have hundreds of ASINs with similar keywords, can you combine keywords tracking? You could. If you've got a whole bunch of ASINs in one variation, you kind of only have to have it once in Keyword Tracker, because remember, only one product can show up at a time in a variation family for a certain keyword. Okay, so in that case, you don't need to be tracking all 40 variants of one. You just need to track it once if you want. But if you are ranking for similar keywords on products that aren't even on the same variation, I would track it separately. Yes. Ali says, I want to see my PPC cost by day by rank for day. Is it possible without Atomic? No. If you have Atomic connected so that we're ingesting your PPC data, yes, you will be able to see that inside of Helium 10. But you don't actually have to use Atomic automation to do that. You just have to have it connected. So if you've got a Diamond account, Ali, you've got Atomic in there. So just that means we can go ahead and see that information. You don't actually have to be using Atomic. I highly recommend you do. I use it on all 200 of my campaigns. I don't use any automation. I don't use automation at all with Atomic. I do everything manually. It still saves me 90% of the time. But if automation is what you're worried about, don't do any automations. But if you have your own system for PPC, all you have to do is have that connected to Atomic, and we'll be able to ingest that data for Keyword Tracker. But you don't have to be using Atomic for it. And it costs nothing. If you have the Diamond plan, it literally costs you nothing to be able to have that data in Keyword Tracker. It's free. 3 weeks ago, it would have cost you $200 a month, but now it's free. Karen says, do I log in with the same username and password with my vendor account to connect with the seller account to use Helium 10? So do you have a vendor account and a seller account tied to the same brand? You only can connect the seller account to Helium 10. But everything we showed today, as far as Keyword Tracker and Cerebro, that has nothing to do with any Amazon account. You could have no Amazon account connected to Helium 10 and still get that data. Where the importance of connecting your account to Helium 10 is in some of our tools like profits and follow-up, where we have to get the order information and your profitability and your inventory and things like that. Christine says, do I have to avoid using the same keywords in different colors under the same parent? Everybody has different ways that they do this. All right. So for example, I have Coffin Shelf, as you guys probably saw there. I've got a pink one, a purple one, and a black one. Now, for Coffin Shelf, I only want to know which one is ranking for it, because I can only rank for one at a time. Now, if I'm checking my variations separately, is it possible that I have some different keywords that I know only one is going to rank for? Of course. There's a keyword that I get sales from that is pink Coffin Shelf. Am I getting sales on that from my black Coffin Shelf? No. Do I care about if the black Coffin Shelf is ranking for that keyword? Of course not. So in that situation, all I care about is the pink Coffin Shelf and how it's ranking. So then that's where I'll go ahead and track that pink Coffin Shelf separately for that keyword pink Coffin Shelf. Right? But there are some people who are like, you know what? I just want to have everything together and all the keywords for all my variation in one product family. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's people who do that. That's why we have that ability inside of Keyword Tracker for you to do that. You choose whatever works for you. Ali says, do you have PPC automation linked with ranks? Is there any limit of keyword tracking in Diamond Plan? Not yet. You see I'm wearing a PackView shirt today. So in our PackView, it's also a Helium 10 company. Our PackView software, yes, you can do bidding and based on your keyword ranks. Eventually that'll come into Atomic, yes. And is there any limit of keyword tracking Diamond Plan? Yes, I forgot what it is. Might be 1,000 or 5,000 keywords maybe is how much you can track. But which, unless you've got 500 products, that should be more than enough. I am not the kind of person who says you should be tracking even 100 keywords per product. Some people do, and go ahead. But I maximum do like maybe 50 or 100, because that's where most of my sales are going to come from. All right, now I know some people were like, oh, I want to track 500 keywords for all my products. Well, you do you, but you're going to use it for keywords a little bit faster. I am sending my inventory at the end of this month to the Eastern warehouses. This is my first product. Should I be aggressive with PPC? I already saw your product honeymoon launch video. Yeah, so that I would consider that pretty aggressive, right? Yeah, if you're looking at my honeymoon launch episode 600 of the podcast, that's definitely, in my opinion, pretty aggressive, because I'm doing fixed bids, trying to bid top of search, very high, high budget to rank for those keywords. Yes, but some people might be like, oh, that's only one campaign you're doing, really heavy on that. That's not very, heavy. So it depends on your point of view, I guess, what you consider. What's the word you used? Aggressive, I should say. Aggressive PPC. In my opinion, that's pretty aggressive. But as opposed to the people who say, oh, just put the products up and don't do any PPC until you get reviews. No, I do not suggest that. All right, guys, that's about all the time we have today. Thank you guys so much for being on this program. I hope you guys learned something. Look out for that special episode. I'm going to go way, way deeper into Keyword Tracker. Today was just a broad overview of keywords in general. In a few weeks, you're going to see on the podcast a very detailed video about keyword rank. So make sure to take a look at that. Thank you guys very much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye now.